Good morning, everyone. I'm Carolina from Making Life, and today I'm here with Andrea Oliva, Head of Pharmacovigilance of Beatrice and, of course, a member of AFI.
Hi Carolina, thank you for the opportunity. As you said, I'm Andrea Oliva. I'm the coordinator of the pharmacovigilance group in AFI from several years, and I have a quite long experience, about 15 years in the pharmacovigilance field.
So, since your core business is pharmacovigilance, can you tell us how to manage the introduction in the marketing of new medicines? Could they be herbals or chemical and traditional ones? For what concerns the product safety and the risk management in order to give the patient the most safe product?
All the product, according to the Italian and European legislation, require post-marketing pharmacovigilance activities. Of course, it could be a little bit different according to the type of product. As you said, the herbal or the traditional product have a safety profile that is easier for the evaluation, for the assessment, and for the monitoring, referring to a chemicals to common medicinal products, but it's not depending on the type of registration, the activities that for the marketing authorization holder are required. So for all the products, we need to collect any adverse event to provide a periodic report and additionally to reduce the activities and minimize the risk associated to this drug administration. And for that reason, the marketing authorization holder have to perform additional measure in case that the product could have a particular risk for the patient safety. And these activities are mainly coordinated by the health authority or by the company that identified the risk and suggest to the health authority prior to their approval which kind of activity could minimize this risk. And it is really important because according to this process, we ensure that the product could be on the market and the patient could be taken with no risk or with a low level of risk, because as you know, there is no product, there is no drug without adverse events.
They stick to the herbal, homeopathic, allergens kind of medicines that have a simplified registration. How this kind of simplified registration presents itself at both an advantage but also as a limitation to the obtaining of the marketing authorization?
Of course, a simplified registration have a lot of advantages, mainly the timing, because a simplified registration have a short timing for obtaining their approval from the health authority, and of course also the cost, because to prepare the dossier that should be submitted to the health authority, we have to produce a low level and low number of documentation, mainly the documentation related to the clinical data and the preclinical data are lesser than the same documentation that should be presented for the authorization of the traditional products. Of course, this is an advantage, but it could be also classified as a cons, because of course, if we have a low number of documentation mainly related to the clinical data, for some stakeholder, that could be the patient, the pharmacist, the physician, or people that have to take this drug, it could be also a source of gap, because they say, oh, it's not the same as a common, I don't know, ibuprofen or an amoxicillin, and for this reason, it could be a risk because they have a low level of efficacy or low number of data that can ensure the safety of this product, but it's just an approach, because if the health authority require low level of documentation, is because they consider that the documentation that the marketing authorization holder provide to the health authority is enough to ensure the approval.
This kind of some medicines going through a simplified registration because it's easier to product them? It's maybe have a less cost to product them?
It depends. Some of these products are classified with a different method of interaction, of reply, because the homeopathic, the herbal, are of course to be considered as a drug, but the method or the pathway where they reply and ensure that the patient could be reply for the disease is quite different from taking a chemical product.
My last question is something that is a very hot topic right now. So the digitalization and the social media. I heard that according to the EMA's guidelines on good pharmacovigilance practice, the marketing authorization holders have the obligation to screen regularly the social media under their control for potential adverse reaction reports to notify immediately to regulation authorities. What do you think about it, and how do you think that pharmacovigilance should evolve in this new scenario?
As you say, is a new scenario, mainly for all the people, because how many people have, I don't know, LinkedIn, Facebook, or another social media? I think that about the 90% of the population have one social media. And for that reason, the pharma company identify in this kind of project, in this kind of channel, a good way for promote product to engage of patient and healthcare professionals. And for that reason, the health authority identify as a risk and also as a trigger for safety information. And for that reason, as you said, when the marketing authorization holder is owner or is promoting a social media, have the responsibility to check if within this channel it is reported some adverse event or any information that could be identified as a signal for the product that the company is own. And is a challenge, because for us, for people that work on the PV, on the pharmacovigilance, it's easier to speak with a physician to collect data from a pharmacist that is really different and completely different, not only for the content, but also for the approach to check, I don't know, the Facebook page of the company and to see that someone that is not Andrea Oliva, but that is Mr. Potato 83, report that after taking a drug, it's happened something. We have to consider that most of these people that report this information are not reporting the adverse event as the meaning of this post, but is just reporting an information to promote this information or just to inform others that could be at the same page that is happening something wrong. And for that reason, it's quite different for us to manage it.
Yes, I think it could be a risk because before the social media, I, as a patient, had to go to the doctor and said that I have this kind of adverse reaction taking the drug. Now people can write anything they want on social media, so you have to discriminate something that is real between something that is just a lamentation.
Yeah, that's true. It's very difficult, and also you have to consider that maybe you report an adverse event and you discuss with your physician, and the physician follow the legislation, so he contacted the health authority or the marketing authorization holder for report this adverse event. But in the meantime, you go on your I don't know, Facebook or your social media and report, I visit my physician and discuss about what happened with my drug, but I'm a little bit disappointed because he talked something blah 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 blah. So the physician collect and follow the legislation, and we receive the adverse event via common way. But in the meantime, we check the Facebook and we retrieve the same information, or by the way, not the same information, a similar information provided directly by the patient, and could be some discrepancy from the information reported by the physician and the information reported in the social media. But we have no idea that the information reported are the same. So we create a duplicate, and we could false also the safety of the product. This is another risk that we have to follow every day on our daily activities with the social media projects.
Yes, it's very challenging, and also it was a very interesting chat with you. Thank you very much, Andrea, for your time, and I hope to see you at AFI Symposium.
Thank you. Bye, Carolina. Thank you.
Bye.